it's Sandra. Welcome to another episode of Asexualized, my asexual life. This is a place to be for education about asexuality, all things asexual, and I share my own asexual life journey in order to help you in yours. If you haven't already subscribed, please hit the great big subscribe button below right here, right now. Please hit that bell icon to get notified of every time I go live right now, post a new video. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you'll find it useful, helpful, enjoyable, insightful, entertaining in any way, shape or form, or you just want to give this channel some love. Really would appreciate that. If you don't know who I am Sandra Burmey, author of this beautiful book, Asexual Perspectives, 47 Asexual Stories, Love, Life and Sex, a celebration of asexual diversity. I'm also the founder of asexualist.com and the founder of Asexualist Academy. The links to all those are down below that you can check out after this live stream. So welcome to tonight's live stream. I want to say that cross-dressers are valid. So if you don't know what a cross-dresser is, a cross-dresser for... Oh, hi, Sam. Nice to see you. Thank you for coming on. Thanks so much. So if you didn't know what a cross-dresser is, for example, a cross-dresser would be a guy who dresses in female clothing. So they dress... as stereotypically another gender would. Obviously, do you know what I mean? We still have gender stereotypes within society. We still do have male and female clothing. Although I believe John Lewis was a company that was going to be doing like non-gender specific clothing. I think they started that 1 or 2 years ago. Was it last year or the year before? So yeah, so you know, things are changing, but a cross-dresser is someone who dresses usually in a different genders stereotypically a different genders clothing. So I had to do some stuff today. I had to post a letter off at the post office, and I just needed some time to chill out because it was something I had to do, and I had to chill out afterwards because the content was quite emotionally charged, shall I say, in the best way possible, right? I'm not going to go into that because it's personal. But anyway, I needed some time out to chill, and I do need... Oh, thanks for the thumbs up. I do need some more clothes to go clubbing with because I have barely got any clubby clothes, you know, because I've started going to nightclub again. You know, I'm kind of dressing in the same stuff. My dress I usually wore, it's decided to come apart a bit. The seam at the back, not down the sides, at the back, which is very weird, near the zip. So I'm going to try and obviously stitch it up, but I'm a bit concerned that it might be going completely. So I really need some more clubby clothes because I tend to keep wearing the same skirt over and over again that I love. I was wearing a skirt with a zip, but the zip, when I was jumping up and down, because I jump up and down when I'm dancing to certain music, the zip was coming down and showing my underwear, and I caught it just before it came right down showing all my underwear. I was like at the top of my underwear. I'm like, OMG, I've only done that once. I didn't realise, because these skirts with the zip, so really like nice material, nice fashionable skirts, right? I wore it with a top. And yeah, that's the first time I've told you about this. Wasn't recently, I think it was a couple of months ago, but you know, I was jumping up and down and the zip moved and it was like to the top of my pants. I'm like, oh my god, quick. And I just grabbed it when I was doing that and pulled it back up quickly, but I had to hold my skirt zip up. If I was dancing up or jumping up and down, I had to hold the top bit of the zip up. It was a nightmare. I felt like going home to just change, but I couldn't. I'm like, you've come this far, you're not going all the way back. So that was very difficult because I couldn't jump up and down very much. And I do like, you know, when the music's going on, I go boom, boom, boom and jump up and down. I love doing that and go ooh, 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 like this. So that was like kind of a strange experience. And it's like, I don't usually wear the skirt. I usually wear a skirt that's got no zip on it. It's kind of quite clingy and short because I'm just a short girl. If I wear really, you know, if I wear certain lengths of skirts, they just look too old on me because I'm a short girl, and you know, so I don't like something that's showing, you know, like my pants, but I like something that's you know, like above knee. So yeah, that was an interesting experience. So I went into this discount store just to see if there was any skirts or even new tops I need as well. And there was this guy in there, and he literally had on a woman's fluffy, bright pink, like cerise pink, fluffy jumper on over his clothes. He took off the rail and put over him. And he was literally going around all through the ladies' clothing rail. So he was a guy who honestly didn't care or give a toss about people caring that he was a cross-dresser. He was making it clear he was buying those clothes for himself. He was looking at some of the same rails that I was looking at, and he took a load of stuff into the fitting room to try on that with female clothes. You know, and I think this type of guy is very brave, and I think he's being true to who he is. And I think in society we should accept cross-dressers a lot more than we do. Best way to be, just be true to himself. Exactly, Sam, exactly. But it was so open. I've not seen many guys actually be that open before. It was the way he did it so confidently, you know. And this guy had a beard, so it's not like he was even looking physically like a woman at all. He had a great big beard, you know, so clearly he was a guy. He wasn't trying to be something he's not and trying to actually be a woman. He was actually, you know, specifically a cross-dresser, a guy who wanted to dress in women's clothing but didn't actually want to look like a woman. Now, I know some cross-dressers that are asexual, and I know some of them, or I've known one from the past, which I no longer speak to because they decided they weren't really asexual in the end, or they didn't think they were. So then they blocked me out of their life, which is a bit bizarre. Do you know what I mean? Like, just because they just, you know, realize they're not asexual anymore, it's a bit weird. But anyway, they guess they wanted to start their life over in their new sexual orientation, even though they never experienced sexual attraction at that time. They decided, so obviously that was best for them. So more power to them. Hi Heather, nice to see you. Lots of love to you. So basically, you know, some guys that do dress in women's clothing, they do like to wear a wig, they do like to wear makeup, they do actually look like a female. So the guy that no longer speaks to me that I knew was asexual, he used to send me pictures of himself with really long brown, like nearly black hair, great big full-on lipstick, you know, really tons of makeup. I said to him, I said, you know, you look more female than I do, and you look like you've got a lot more, well, I didn't say female than I do, I said you look like you've got a lot more makeup on than I ever wear. So I guess he looked more like a woman, but I didn't say you look more like a woman. I actually said you look, you know, you wear more makeup than I do, you know. And he used to send me lots of pictures of him dressed in, you know, in this female persona that he had. It was his alter ego, he called it. So there are some guys that cross dress without obviously changing their physical appearance, which was this guy who I saw in this department store today. You know, clearly he has a great big bushy beard. You know, it was like, you know, he's clearly a guy in his face, but yet he was wearing women's clothes. So I think, you know, both are valid. A cross-dresser, if they decide they want to be someone else and want an alter ego like another, you know, like another gender, that's valid. And I think if a person wants to not change their gender but just likes wearing different clothes, that's also valid, you know. I think what's the problem is in society is when people, now obviously some people don't believe they're the gender they're born with and they become trans, and that is perfectly fine and valid, okay. You know, that's really, really good. But I feel there are also some people who feel pushed to change and become trans. You know, I think there's a small minority that feel pushed because society won't accept them as they are. Do you see what I mean? So if you're a guy who openly dresses as a woman, it's kind of like sometimes I think they're thinking, oh, well, I might have to become trans, because in the eyes of other people, a guy can't look like a female unless they've kind of changed that aspect of them in the rest of their physical appearance. Do you see what I'm saying? So I think there's you know, there's quite a lot of pressure in society to be something you're not. And I think both trans people and people who know they're born in the wrong body are valid. And I think those people that decide that they, you know, they're happy with the body they've got, they want to keep the gender they were born with, but they just want to wear different types of clothes for another gender, I think that's valid as well. And I think we have to recognize that both are equally valid. You know, like I have some male traits even though I'm female, you know. And in the past I honestly thought when I was a kid, you know, it'd be much better in terms of easier life for me if I was a guy. I did used to think that, but I used to think that I don't want a penis, you know. I'm happy with although I don't like women's bodies, naked bodies, I'm happy still being female myself. I don't want to change into a guy. But I do think, you know, that a lot of women, they're expected to have these stereotypical feminine roles, do you know what I mean? And it's kind of like I just don't fit some of those roles, you know. I don't, like I've said on a previous video recently, I don't go around painting my nails. You know, I haven't painted my nails for years. And if I did, it was only very randomly, occasionally, like I might try that, you know. You know, I tend to cut my nails quite short. I mean, this is long for me at the moment, do you know what I mean? And, you know, I'm not really one to go around hanging out with loads of women, to be honest. I have done that with my female best friend, you know, and spent time with her and her friends, but I really prefer it when I spend time with me and her, you know, or obviously when I'm in the younger clubby scene type thing. But, you know, Heather, it's just like costume. People like to dress up as adult. People think costumes are for kids. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this guy was clearly, I mean, there are different scenarios because there are some guys who dress in women's clothes and they really want to dress like a woman. They want to feel like a woman for that specific time. So I guess I don't know if that comes under dressing up or if that comes under more of a mindset, alter ego type of thing, rather than just dressing up. Whereas I think the guy, for example, that I saw today who wants to dress in women's clothing, I kind of think that's more like he wants to dress up because it's more like he's still being a guy but wearing female clothing. Do you know what I mean? And there's lots more makeup these days that have come out for guys, you know? And I have to say that Tesco in the UK, I'm not saying they're the best supermarket in the world, but I'm just saying Tesco in the UK, they have a lot of non-binary people and they have a lot of guys that wear makeup and have paint their nails and have long nails and stuff. So they kind of have different, they break the stereotypical gender norms, you know. I've seen guys, you know, that wear really prominent eye makeup. I mean, you can tell they're wearing makeup and you know, they'll have nails that are really painted and really long, you know, like they would look like they had female nails if you were making it gender specific. Do you know what I mean? So but I do like that, Heather. I do like the idea that it's like a costume and dressing up. I do like that. I think some of the guys that I know though that do cross-dressing, it's more than just dressing up to them. It's kind of like some of them, I think, you know, would kind of want to be another gender as well at the same time as being their own. You know, obviously they understand it more than I do because they're the ones who do it. So, you know, I don't have the amount of experience to analyze exactly how they do it or why they do it. You know, maybe I'll learn more about it as I go along because I know a few other asexuals that are actually asexual, still asexual, that do cross-dressing. And one of them actually is Indian. And he is openly a cross-dresser in India. And I find that very, very interesting. I think he's done teaching as well before. And he once had a conversation with me telling me that he'll want to come to UK sometime. We both go out as girls together, clubbing. And that he dresses up like a girl and I'm like a girl. And I did feel a little bit uncomfortable about that because, you know, it's out of my comfort zone. But I think I'd try it. It's just that it's out of I'm being honest, it's out of my comfort zone, but I think I'd try it, you know? And I think it's not just that, it's because I don't know the guy, do you know what I mean? Like, it's not someone I've even video chatted with, I don't think. It's someone on Facebook, so I don't know him. I don't know what he's like as a person, do you know what I mean? If it's someone who I knew who was like a good friend of mine and I knew them, like, you know, met them in person and stuff, if they want to cross dress and, you know, and go out dressed as a female, you know, I think they can do that. You know, I welcome cross dressers at my asexual meetups, for example. I'd be happy for them to come to my meetups dressed, if they're a guy dressed in female clothes, you know, because I want people to be happy with who they are and to just be themselves. I've seen some guys look like beautiful girls. I'm not saying that in a bad way or anything. Yeah, I know what you mean, Heather. I think some guys look more like a girl than I do. No, I'm clearly a girl. You can tell I'm a girl. But yeah, I know what you mean. I really do know what you mean, and I think some makeup really suits some guys as well. I really do. Some of them look, but I just personally, I don't like makeup full stop. I don't think makeup, I'm quite like, personally, I'm quite like, I do wear eyeshadow. I do wear some makeup when I go out. I do wear some eyeshadow. So I'm not totally against makeup. But in general, I think if a person's naturally beautiful, they don't need the makeup to, because they're already beautiful in of their own right. That's what I'm trying to say. But I mean, like if a person wants to wear makeup, that's up to them. But I wouldn't plaster, I don't plaster makeup all over my face or over here. You agree, Sam? Thank you. I just think there's so much in society where women, especially, are geared towards wearing makeup. And like, there's a saying, especially in the heterosexual world, that she took her face off before she went to bed, which means she took her makeup off. And it's like, hang on a minute, the girl's actually got a proper face. What you're seeing is just a bunch of chemicals coloured on her face. Do you know what I mean? It's, you should be loving her for who she is and what she looks like, not the makeup. And I don't put makeup all over my face, and I've got really nice skin. And that's because I don't put makeup all over my face, because if you put makeup on your face, it makes it, you have spots, and it really drains your skin, and it can make you look old a lot quicker. I have to put cream on my face, so Nivea cream, because I get dermatitis on my face, which is not a very good place to have it. I get on my hands and my face. So I do have to put Nivea cream to moisturize constantly, every day, at least once a day, usually twice a day or more. It's not very good to have peeling skin on your face, but usually people can't see that because I usually keep it moisturized all the time. But in the heat in winter, it can obviously start drying my skin out. So because I need heat to work in, because I'm not good at working in cold. But then I have to have the window open a little bit for ventilation to not let skin dry out. So it's kind of a good, like, you got to get a good balance. But I just wanted to really make a statement that cross-dressers are valid. And one of the things that's really interesting as well is this guy in Exeter who runs a market stall. He's run it for quite some time, and he sells clothes and other things. And then one day, just out of the blue, he started wearing the clothes he sells and dressing up as a woman. And he serves customers like that as well. He just does it. And that's so brave, I think, And it was weird that, like, he used to just be a guy for a long, long time. And then all of a sudden you saw him dressing in the female clothes. And it's like, wow. And so he like sells the clothes and wears the clothes. But he's wearing the female clothes that he's selling. And he's wearing these dresses with like cardigans and stuff. So it's not like, it's real traditional female clothing. And and he'll just serve customers and talk to his mates, his other market mates like that. And so I think it's good that people have this bravery about them to do that. And if people want to do that type of thing, why not? I don't think anyone should be ashamed of doing things. I think that's a problem of why so many relationships fail, why so many people's not being true to who they are and their authentic self. I think there's a lot of problems where people are lying and keeping secrets because they feel they can't be truly who they are. But in order to get the best possible relationship, the best possible friends, they really need to know who you really are as a person. You need to show that to the world and show up as your true, authentic self. Heather, I have sensitive skin, so makeup is a once a while thing. Yeah, I have very sensitive skin, so I just put eyeshadow on sometimes. As you've noticed, when I'm on this live stream, I don't usually wear any makeup. It's only when I go out clubbing that I wear it. But I like glitter stuff, but it gets all in my eyes and it comes off. I got this liquid glitter stuff, right? If it's powdered glitter, it usually stays on. But if I got liquid glitter and it keeps coming off, it's just so annoying. I don't think my eyelids like it because my eyes are very soft and supple, So, I don't usually wear lipstick. It's like, really? Does a guy really want to taste lipstick? That's why I can't understand guys who like women who wear a lot of makeup. Because it's like, if a guy's kissing a girl, he's really kissing her lipstick. I mean, how gross is that? To me, that would be a complete turn-off if I was a guy kissing a girl. If I was a guy, that I'd be kissing a guy because I know I'm not attracted to women. I would be a gay asexual guy or homo-romantic guy. you know, because I'm not interested in females. But what I'm saying is if you put yourself in the position of a guy who's kissing a woman with lipstick on, I can't understand why you'd want to do that, because it must taste absolutely disgusting. Do you know what I mean? Like, lipstick just must taste hideous to a guy. Why would he want to do that? I mean, maybe he likes the thrill of having lipstick all over him. Some guys like that, don't they? Like lipstick on their collar, lipstick up their neck, all that type of thing. They find it quite sexy and eternal, I guess. But I'm talking about like heterosexual guys mostly. But maybe some people have fetishes over lipstick. I don't know. But in general, I would think it's quite disgusting to taste that stuff. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I think people look much better without makeup, if I'm honest. But you know, I think people should be who they want to be, and you know, and guys who specifically dress up in girls' clothing and want to look like female, they have to use a lot of makeup, usually, and wigs to make themselves look more like a female. Do you know what I mean? And so I can understand why they do use a lot of makeup, because they are really trying to transform themselves into looking like a female. The ones that want to look like a female when they're dressed in female clothing. Like I said, this guy today in the department store, he clearly couldn't care less that he was very much a guy dressed in female clothing. And he was a very oh, hi Andy. Oh, great subject. Thank you, Andy. I know. I'm glad you're here. I've already covered quite a bit. Yeah, so yeah, this guy in this department store, he was clearly a guy. I mean, he was a tall guy, quite broad, big beard. Do you know what I mean? So he was clearly a guy that wasn't ashamed of being in female clothing and being seen as a guy at the same time. Do you know what I mean? And that's what I thought was so brave, because he looked quite a manly guy. You know, like there's a lot of stereotypes, isn't there? You know what I mean? The stereotypes where, you know, a guy who cross dresses would, like, stereotypically in society, you'd imagine he would look feminine. Do you know what I mean? Normally. Do you know what I mean? But this guy didn't look feminine. You would not think he was a cross dresser unless you saw him in the shop cross dressing. Do you see what I'm saying? So he was breaking the norms, he was breaking the stereotypes, and that's why I really wanted to draw this to your attention, because I just thought it was so brave, and I just thought it was really good. He was very confident. You know, he was really making sure kind of everyone knew that he was getting female clothing. You know, I think sometimes you have to do that. If you're scared and frightened or fearful of doing something, you have to do the opposite and be really, really confident about it. You know, like I go to this club recently, right? And I told you I still get nervous when I go out clubbing, right? But when I'm there, I'm usually good, right? But obviously, this guy that kissed me this week, a few days ago, this Bangladeshi guy, I was intimidated by him. I could feel it, because he looked really sexual guy. He was very hot heterosexual guy, if you want to call him a hot heterosexual guy. He was like, he did wear beautiful street clothes. He did have a very good physique. And, you know, and I did find him a bit intimidating, because I didn't know if I could handle him, because he looked very physically strong. And I was right. My intuition was right about that. He is very physically strong, because he could lift me up, you know, because you've got to be careful, because some really strong guys could potentially hurt you if you weren't strong enough to counteract that if it should happen. And also, you've got to have a lot of trust with the stranger, you know, so you have got to be very, very careful and use your own judgment. And I was very intimidated at first, because I thought, God, you know, you're really strong, you're very powerful the way you dress. And then I thought to myself, Sandra, you know what, I am consciously, if this guy doesn't smoke, I'm consciously going to let him kiss me, because I know he keeps wanting to. And either I can walk away, which I was thinking about, or I can let him kiss me. It's great that he could just be confident in himself. The guy in the store, yeah, it is really good that he could just be himself and confident. And that's kind of like what I was linking to the fact in the club, that I was being, you know, I was being very confident with the guy in the club, that I was going for something that was kind of out of my comfort zone. And instead of, sometimes when you're facing a fear, rather than do it timidly, this is a tip for lots of different asexual scenarios as well. When you're feeling very timid and shy and afraid of doing something, it's actually good if you push yourself to the opposite and be bold, brave, and confident. So, for example, when you come out as asexual, instead of saying I'm asexual like this, you should be, I'm asexual, just thought you should know. And you should talk loud, clear, and be the opposite of what you're feeling. Do you see what I mean? Which I think is what this guy was kind of doing in the store, right? He was a tall guy, broad guy, clearly a physically guy, right? Beard all over it. It wasn't a short little beard. It was big all around his mouth, hair down here, big tall guy, broad shoulders. Clearly, physique-wise, he was a guy, right? But the way he was holding himself, he was very confident. It was very upright. It was very pull the clothes back with big movements. It was almost like he wanted everyone to know that he dresses in women's clothing. Do you see what I mean? And Sam, I've come to the conclusion I just have to be myself and stuff what people think. I lived to other people's expectations long enough. Yes, Sam, that is very good. I'm really, really glad. I'm really glad you came to that conclusion. It's really important. Yeah, it's really important. So I'm really glad as well that you're yourself now. It's really good. I'm proud of you. Yeah, well done, Sam. Really proud of you. And and that's what I'm trying to express with this guy is you can take his attitude towards other scenarios, because that's what I did in the club. When I was intimidated by this guy, I had to make a decision. Do I trust him enough and trust myself enough to be strong with him if I do let him start kissing me, because I know that he's physically strong? Am I feeling is physically strong too strong for me, and I couldn't get out of a situation if something was to go wrong? Or am I mean, obviously this is a public place, so you still got people around you, lots of people. Or am I feeling I'm strong enough to be his equal should anything happen to me? Do you know what I mean? So you've got to really, really judge the situation. But so instead of me being timid around him, I was then very brave, very bold around him, very know my own mind, confident, because you have to be like that, right? Sometimes the safest position to be in is to be very confident, very bold, very strong, right? Because you come then from a place of strength, not weakness. I remember when I first came out as asexual, I was weak. I was very weak to other people, to the friend I first came out, the first friend I ever came out to, very, very weak. Because I said, I think I might be asexual, because I was still learning about it then. And she just ripped the heck out of me. Oh, but you like guys, you love foreign guys, you're always going on about mine. Yes, because I'm asexually attracted to them, but I don't want to have sex with them. Oh, come on, you just haven't found the right guy and all that type of thing. So a big tip for anyone who's watching this show right now is literally be bold and brave with everything if you're asexual, you want to date people, do not start a relationship not telling them you're asexual. Tell them you asexual, tell them you don't like sex. I want none of this, I'm scared, I can't do it, right? I'm worried. You don't have to say the word asexual. There is absolutely no reason why you can't tell someone, I do not like sex. That is in your vocabulary, it's in everyone else's vocabulary. Asexuality people don't know about sometimes. They don't understand it. They don't understand the word, right? You could get confused them, right? You could get, it's easier to get mixed signals, right? Mixed messages, right? But no means no. So if you don't want sex in a relationship, if you're asexual, don't want sex, you don't have to say straight away that you're asexual, but you do have to say, to be fair to the other person, that you're that you don't like sex. Obviously you don't have to, because I can't make you. You're your own person. You can choose whatever you want to do in life. But in my opinion, in my personal guidance, you should be telling the person you don't like sex. It's only fair to them, right? And people know that language. No matter what, it's parents, relatives, families, friends, people understand when someone says, I don't like sex, right? You can say that when you're 10 years old. You say that when you're 20 or 40 or 50 or 90. I don't like sex. Everyone understands those words. I don't like something. Because, there's certain things in life where we just don't like. We're not going to like everything. So if you don't want to come out as asexual to people, you should be saying, if you're going to look to be in a relationship with someone, to be fair to the other person, I don't like sex. It's not my thing. Not into it. I find it boring. It's not my thing. Heather, I agree you do need to be direct. Sam, I agree. Yeah. I mean, I was direct with this guy, the Bangladeshi guy. I mean, it's sad that he lied. That he said he doesn't like sex or alcohol, clearly he was just saying that. I mean, tonight he's messaged me again. Right? He messaged me at what was it? 10:58 tonight. Tonight, UT, meaning he's out tonight, you. So basically, he's saying he's out tonight. Am I out tonight? So it sounds like he wants to meet me if I'm going out clubbing again. That's what it sounds like. But it's just like, he's just weird. Yeah, I mean, he didn't have to tell me he was out, did he? He could have just not bothered to say anything, but he's told me he's out. But it's like, it's like, yes, give me a secret camera where you're having alcohol, and then I just say, yeah, you told me you don't like alcohol. Here it is as a proof. You liar. Block him. I might see him out again though, Heather. I might see him out at a club. Do you know what I mean? If I go out to Timepiece again, I'll probably see him again there. Do you know what I mean? So it's a shame, really. It's a shame he's a liar. A real shame. I could block him. You know. But I have a feeling I might end up seeing him out again anyway. Dancing, and then I won't know what to do. Because it's kind of like, I shouldn't really dance with him. I was thinking that tonight, what do I do? Because I shouldn't really dance with him again, because clearly he can't even be honest with me. But then it's kind of like, well, if I'm out dancing and I'm enjoying myself, would I just like to dance with him again? But then that's dangerous territory. Very, very dangerous territory, really. If I said, no, I'm not interested, then I really need to keep that up. Do you know what I mean? But then, you know, I do like dancing with someone sometimes. It's a shame he had to lie, because he could have been a really good person to hang out and go dancing with. Do you know what I mean? But he's still messaging me. But I don't know if I'll see him out, because it's quite probable I might. So, yeah, it's a tricky situation, because it's like, if I'm out, do I want to spend the hot and there's other, I mean, obviously, if there's other guy, you know, if I'm dancing on my own, fine. If there's another guy that wants to dance with me, fine. But if I'm out and I like dancing with him and he happens to be out dancing, you know, wants to dance with me, it's going to be a bit like, tricky. Yeah, it's going to be a bit like, now, do I actually dance with him because I've said no, I'm not interested, or do I just think life's too short, let's have a good time dancing together? It's like, do you know what I mean? It's a very tricky situation. That I don't even know how old this guy is. I don't have a clue how old he is. But he's obviously not a truth teller, so yeah. But, you know, I have to remember that I'm 21 years mindset with a lot of experience. It's like, do I use the 21st mindset me, teenager me, or do I use the experience me, or do I amalgamate them both? Do you know what I mean? Because it's kind of like, if you're 21, you just kind of do go out and dance with people, don't you? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Oh, I have to say, I saw some beautiful skirts the other day, but they're expensive, even though they're in the sale. And it's like, oh man, you know, they're I really want them as well. I like short skirts, you know. I'm a short person. I'm not old fogey. Do you know what I mean? So I look good in short skirts as well. Not short as in can see my ass, but short as in you know, not too long. But yeah, so I just think whatever you're doing in life, you know, be yourself, but be bold and brave about it. You know, I think when you're bold and brave with the real you, I think it's a lot better than cowering down. And so I think if you're gonna do something, just be bold about it. Just really make sure everyone knows you're being like that and you're happy about it. Do you know what I mean? I guess sometimes you have to fake it a bit till you make it, you know, in the sense that you might be scared. But that's how you learn anything. That's how you learn to be brave. It's by doing scary stuff. Do you know what I mean? Things that get you out of your comfort zone. Like I am, you know, like I'm getting more out of, I am, it's weird because I'm going out of my comfort zone with going clubbing again and stuff. But it's it is, I hope you find some nice dance partners. Thank you, Heather. Yeah. I mean, you know, I plan to like, you know, like, you know, get, you know, like have, you know, like come across more guys and eventually find, you know, a really nice one for me, you know, and, you know, possibly I'll get a relationship in the end. I don't know, because it's not exactly the ideal place to meet a guy in a club, but I know if my asexual soulmate is Indian and he's in Exeter, he will go to that club. I think I just intuitively believe he'll be there. So I've got to keep going. Whatever happens, I know that's the right place for me to go to. I know I'm really happy there, love dancing there, love the music there, feel really good there. I lost a bit of weight this week as well because I went there. I'm like, oh, I must go there again. I'm like, really? It's probably because I didn't actually eat anything the whole time I was there. And I took some snacks though, just in case I need them. But I'm like, oh, I've lost a few pounds. Must do that again. But it feels my body's getting better going there. I mean, I am eating more fish because fish is really good for my certain fish is really good for my body. But do you know what I mean? But I am finding the dancing's really helping my body be more supple, be more flexible. You know, my hip pain's going. You know, there was a time, was it like last year, where I think it was last year, but I had, was it last year? It might have been the very early part of last year. I had a hip problem. I started getting real bad hip pain. I had to go and see a physiotherapist about it. I mean, at my young age, I shouldn't be getting hip pain, should I? Do you know what I'm saying? And I can't remember what happened, but I think I did some damage or something. Anyway, I went to see a physiotherapist and they gave me an exercise to do with the hips, right? And the doctor said, oh, you should be doing more walking, right? I used to walk 5 days a week to my employed job. I guess I walk a bit less now because and that was like a 40-minute walk there and back every day for 5 days a week. I sometimes do less now because I'm working from home. And anyway, when I go out dancing, I found the more I go out dancing, the you know, I don't have like the hip pain anymore. So it's really good. Sam, I met up with a new NB friend today. A year or two ago, I never would have done so. That's really, really good. NB is non-binary, yeah? Is that right? That's really, really good, Sam. That's really good. Yeah, that's getting out of your comfort zone, isn't there? A year or two ago, you've never done so. I'm really pleased for you because this person lives near you as well, don't they? Yeah, this person lives near you, so you'll be able to see a friend near you. I mean, I wish me and you lived nearer each other, to be honest, but it's nice you've got a friend that non-binary friend that lives near you. Obviously, you're non-binary, so you've got quite a lot in common, haven't you? You know, and I want you to be really happy. So it's important that you've got a good friend, likely, you know, going to be, you know, I think they're going to be a good friend to you. So it's good. That's what I'm trying to say. I did mention you and Andy. Oh, thank you. Big kisses. Friendship kisses to you. Thank you so much. That's really nice. You're always including us. Thank you so much. I'm quite lucky that Andy lives not too far from me, aren't I? So I expect we'll be seeing more of each other next year, me and Andy. Because, yeah, I'll have that to look forward to. Oh, I have to say thank you to Andy. Andy sent me another card with another flashing Christmas wreath on it. You're welcome, Andy, because when I went to the I organised asexual meetup and we had the meetup, I had Andy for Christmas bought me these glittery stars that go on my Christmas tree. I mentioned that in the Christmas tree video, the you know, the Christmas tour video of my flat. And they also bought me an angel, flashing angel on a fashion wreath, but one of the lights had gone in the wreath because I had it all day. So Andy sent me another one so I can wear it Christmas Day. Thanks, that will be wonderful. Thank you. Yeah, I expect we'll see more of each other next year. Keep flashing. Thank you. Yeah, in the card. I'm going to show you the card. Where has it gone? It's a nice card, actually. It's very sweet. Look. That's so nice. They've put at the end, keep flashing, but in a nice way. Isn't that sweet? That's very sweet. Yeah, so that's really, really good. Oh, and speaking of Christmas cards, my housemates. I have to say, this is a really nice card, so I just wanted to show you. I know I'm going completely off what I'm talking about, but look at this. Isn't this sweet? It's like a 3D card. I was really impressed with this. I thought that's really sweet. Kind of made me want to, like, I don't know. I just thought, yeah, it looks like a tree of life. It's very nice. I'm going completely off topic, but I did think that's very sweet. My housemates are giving me that. That's cool. I need to see that flashers. Heather, haven't you seen the flashing video yet? And the Christmas flasher. Yeah, that is a nice card, isn't it? That's what I thought. It's actually Sue Ryder Hospice and Neurological Care card. So it supports the lives of different people, because I know that Andy does work to help people in a hospice, voluntary work, don't you, Andy? So this is like going towards hospice care. So I thought that's really nice. It's a very impressive card. Very impressive. I've not seen one like that before. I thought it was really nice. So yeah, going back to the cross dressing, I think there's different types of cross dressers. Those that want to also dress up completely like a female, and those like the guy today who wants to stay a guy and dress like a woman. We should have a glow in the dark flashers. Laugh out loud. Yeah, did you see the flashing video though? Because I did record it in the dark. It was quite funny, the Christmas flasher. Do you know what I mean? That was Sam's idea to put that title, Christmas Flasher, and I put asexual humour after it because I thought I might get quite a few asexuals going rah, rah, rah at me. Not that I really mind, it doesn't really matter, does it? But I thought they might be a bit offended if they didn't know exactly. Oh, you did see it. But I don't know if they'd have been offended or not because they could have just watched the video and understand what it is. And I think you can actually see one of the flashing badges in the you saw it, Sam. I think you can actually see one of the flashing badges anyway on the YouTube thumbnail. I think you can see the angel, so you kind of know what's coming up anyway. So, but yeah, I think with cross dressers, like people are different types of people to have different types of needs with it. I think some people, some of the guys, like I know, like I said, the Indian guy, he wanted to come over to this country and us go out together, and him dress as a woman and me be myself as a female. Oh, actually, I think he might have said for me to be a guy because I said I have guy traits. I can't remember. He might have said that to me. I can't remember. Oh, you're the guy and I'm the girl, I think he might have said. But I mean, he wears he showed me pictures of him, and he wears this Indian guy that's out in his country, which I don't know how he can be out in his country as a cross dresser in India, because they get a lot of they have a lot of problems with even being homo-romantic in India, and gay. Obviously, the gay marriage has been legalized in India now at last, which I'm really pleased about for them. But this guy's a cross-dresser. Like I said, he's a teacher as well, but he cross-dresses in women's clothes. And when he showed me a picture of himself, he's got full makeup and really high heels. So he does look a lot more female with his persona and clothing than I do, because I don't wear high heels. Do you know what I mean? Hi, my life. Nice to see you. Lots of love. So I think it just depends on the cross-dresser as to whether they want to wear a lot of makeup and look female, or whether they just want to be a male and wear female clothing. Like the guy I said today that I saw in the department store, he clearly wanted to look like a guy still, but have female clothing. And the guy on the market stalls like that as well. Like he keeps his face still as a guy's face. He just wears dresses and cardigans and stuff. So all his clothes are female, but his face is still male. So I think it's very interesting that that you get different types of cross dressers. That you've not got two the same. Do you know what I mean? You've got different types. Ones that want to completely have a gender look overall. Obviously, they're not actually changing their gender; they're changing the gender look, and temporarily, and whilst they're in the female clothing. And then you've got the guys that obviously, that still like looking like a guy whilst being in female clothing. Like my parents have a friend, and I know this woman. I was friends with her as a kid, and this woman knows a guy who was married and then lost his wife. She died, and after she died, he then started cross dressing, and he started wearing, I think, his dead wife's clothing, which was very bizarre. My mum said to see him dressed like that. But now he's just recently got a new woman, as in he's in a relationship. So he cross dresses and he's got a woman to be in a relationship with at the same time. Well, I think that's really good. Do you know what I mean? That he's managed to be himself. I mean, it's a shame he wasn't able to be that in his marriage. Do you know what I mean? It is a shame that he could only come out. I feel he could come out like that after his wife's death. But I think it's really good now that he's got a female partner that can accept him cross-dressing. My boyfriend gave me one of his old scarves for our 4 months. Oh, wow. I came out in Ela and I want to be healthier. Oh, sorry. What's I came out in ELA? What's ELA, my life? I'm a twig, but eating unhealthy a lot can create fat around my organs. I know straight guys that have dress up girls. I gotta exercise and eat as healthy as possible on low budget and eat less of unhealthy food, which is most of what I can eat. English language arts. Oh right, okay. Okay. Oh, you came out in English language arts. Oh, that's really good. You came out as you're non-binary. Have you come out as are you non-binary still, my life? I can't remember because I know you changed a little bit. You're non-binary, aren't you? And I need to drink water. Yes, non-binary. Oh, that's really good. Well done. Yes, I'm drinking water in here. I always drink water. People might think, well, I haven't got mugs, but I don't drink tea. I drink water. This is just, you know, I drink 2 litres of this to 4 litres of this a day. The hospital told me you're meant to drink a minimum of 2 litres a day. I drink 2 to 4 litres a day, and I buy mugs because I just prefer. I don't really like glass. I just like mugs. And I got this one from Shrek Adventureland in London, which I'm digressing about as well. So yeah. Oh, well done. Congratulations on coming out as non-binary. I think that's really, really good. Sam, I know a married man who cross-dresses. That's really good. It's really, really good. It's really good. I think it's very important that if you do cross-dress that you tell a future partner about that, because I think if you want to be genuine, true to who you are, then you need Andy, I should be brave and say, yeah, you should be brave and say exactly what you are. Be right back. Okay. Yeah, it's really important to be who you are and who you're meant to be. You should always be brave and say who you are and what you are. Sometimes I like cross-dressing. Oh, well done, Andy! Andy's just said to the world that he sometimes likes cross-dressing. Thanks to Sandra and Sam for their support. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I didn't want to say obviously because it's private and confidential that you told me and Sam, but yes, Andy is one of my best friends and Sam's best friends, and Andy does do cross-dressing, but has not been out to the world about cross-dressing. But he just came out to the world as cross-dressing. Yeah, always have our support, Andy. Absolutely. So yeah, Andy is one of my good friends, and Andy is a cross-dresser, and yeah, and they like dressing as a girl in the cross-dressing. I don't think you mind me saying that, do you? So yeah, so well done, Andy, for coming out. It's really important. Yeah. So if Andy ever comes to an asexual meetup of mine, which he does, he is welcome. Not very often though, and not in public. Yes, but you are welcome to come to an asexual meetup if you want to dress as a girl in female clothing. If you want to ever come to a meetup, you are welcome. So yeah, but yeah, I know it's not in public so far, but all good. Yeah, it's really good, Andy. It's really good. But yeah, so I've got a dear friend who's a cross-dresser, but I couldn't say that. Obviously, it's up to Andy to say that, which Andy said. Yay! See, Heather's going awesome, Andy. It's really important because I know it's very brave for Andy to do that. Very, very brave because Sam only knew a few months ago, really. So yeah, it's really, really important. So yes, do not be ashamed or afraid to be who you are. It's very, very important. And it's very important that if you're going to come out, that you be bold and brave about it and have confidence to do it. Because the more you have confidence in yourself, the more as other people. Exactly. As long as you are happy. Exactly. It's really, really important. It's really important. That's what I mean. Everyone should be themselves in life. And it's really important that if you do get into a relationship, you'll be your true authentic self and tell someone that you're cross-dresser. There will be people that don't mind that. Especially, like if a person's actual trans, or if they're non-binary, a lot of them particularly won't mind cross-dresser because, they or someone who likes multiple genders or more than one gender, they won't. I mean, I specifically like a guy to look like a guy, right? In a relationship. I'm talking about in a relationship. Doesn't matter what my friends do, but in a relationship. So I would prefer a guy who was always a guy because I can't be attracted to females whatsoever. And if a guy was looking like a female, I wouldn't be aesthetically attracted to him or romantically attracted to him. So it'd be kind of like, because I've had cross dressers before interested in me, and I've been thinking like, could I be in a relationship with a cross-dresser? And I certainly could have friendship with them. And I don't know if I could actually be in a relationship with a cross-dresser, because I, like I said, half of the relationship, the time that they were cross-dressing, I couldn't be attracted to them because I'm not attracted to females whatsoever. So it's really important. I'm gonna go. I've got stuff to figure out. Light and love to you, sister. Oh, thank you, my love. Lots of love. Yeah, I hope it works. I hope everything you figure out. Good luck with everything. Good with all you changing life positively as well. It's really, really important. Have a great night. Sam, I've been much happier since being more open about being non-binary. Yeah, it's really important, Sam. It's really important. I'm glad that you told me, even though I don't always get your pronouns right. I have to say my brain just like, it's either he or them with everyone. I just like, my brain just doesn't really engage very easily, but I always try. The point is I try and want to make sure your pronouns are right. I'm very, very specific. I really do. But my brain either usually kills everyone he or everyone them. Do you know what I mean? I don't really end up, you know what I mean? It's just like, but I do try. I will always keep trying. One day I might succeed. And always saying that, you know. But you know, I just have to accept that I find it difficult to say, my brain to say both of them and switch over. That's what I say. You might have noticed I started calling it Andy they as well, but it doesn't matter. But yeah, so I think it's very, very, very important that like to everyone, good subject. I believe everyone deserves respect in society. Oh, night to you, Heather, as well. Lots of love to you. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, so I think it's really important. I think it's very important that if you get into a relationship, you say about, you know, if you are cross-dresser up front, because I have had cross-dressers interested in a relationship with me. But obviously, like personally, you know, you have to decide for yourself what's suitable for you to be in a relationship with, you know. Like I accept trans people, gay people, lesbians, you know, whatever gender, whatever sexuality a person is, I accept and welcome them all in my life. Being an actual relationship, however, you do have to make sure that you've got the right person for you to be in a relationship with. And I was trying to express a little while ago that it's really important that you get the right person for you. So it might be a case of, you know, like with me specifically, if I was in a relationship with someone who was a guy, I don't know if I could be in a relationship with a guy who was a cross-dresser or not. I don't know, because I would not be attracted to him whatsoever when he was in his female persona or dressed in women's clothes, because I don't get attracted to women. So I'm happy to have cross-dressing friends. I can go out with them as a friend. I have no problem with that. But I mean, obviously it might be unusual for me in the beginning to do that, I have to admit, because I'm not used to it. But you know, I'm okay with doing that. I'm fine. You know, I think it's good for people to be themselves, and anyone's welcome to cross-dress and come to my asexual meetups. It's all good. But in a relationship, I thought about, could I be with a cross-dresser? Because I've liked guys who are cross-dressers. I've liked them romantically, you know, and aesthetically, not when they're dressed as a female, though. And I honestly, personally, don't think I could really do that, because it would, like, I have two separate lives with them. It's like I would be like I was with them in the girl-guy role as a relationship, but then in the other part of the relationship, I would always be in like just a friendship mode with them. Do you see what I mean? Because I can't be attracted to a female, I can't be kissing a female, I can't, you know. So if they're dressed as the female persona, you know, I wouldn't be attracted to that. So I've kind of thinking, how I've actually considered, like, how would it work if I was with a cross-dresser, you know? But if I was with a cross-dresser, it would just be like we're mates or friends in the when that person, that guy's like dressing like a female and looking like a female, because I couldn't be anything else. I'm not attracted to females at all. I would not be attracted to, you know, like that. You know, they might look good as a woman in and of their own right, or good as a girl in and of their own right, guys would probably find them attractive, and I'd know that, but I'm not a guy, I'm actually female. Do you know what I mean? I don't have a desire to change my gender. So I personally don't think I could be with a cross-dresser and for the relationship to always feel right to me. You know, you never say never, right? But that's what I've thought about it, because whenever you're thinking about getting into a relationship with someone, you really do have to consider everything long term if you want to be in a long-term relationship. If you just want a few months relationship, it don't matter, does it? But if you want something long term, and you really have to be thinking ahead, like what would it be like to be with that person. But you know, there are people that, of course, that will be with cross-dressers what you know, while they're cross-dressing, and you know, that is perfectly fine and good. Do you know what I mean? I think you always have to assess your own self and how you feel, both as a friend to a person and in terms of a relationship, you know. And I've really assessed that. It's same as I don't know if I could be with a trans guy either, but I mean, there's one trans guy that I have been attracted to, and I would have no clue that they were a trans guy. It's only because they mentioned it on their Facebook, and I've been friends with them for a very long time, and they're a very good looking guy. So if I had have known and they'd have been interested in a woman, a female, then probably, you know, I could have been with them in a relationship. They're really interested in guys though. But there was, you know, there's been a lot of other trans people that I just don't, you know, I wouldn't have felt comfortable with being, you know, in a relationship with, because I don't get attracted at all to females, and I do really prefer a cis male, really. Do you know what I mean? And I guess some transgender people look more like the gender they've transgendered into, if you know what I mean, than others, if you know what I mean. So no disrespect to any transgender person, no disrespect. You know, some guys look like women not trying to. Do you know what I mean? And you know, some guys I probably wouldn't be attracted to that looked female but not even change their gender. Do you see what I'm saying? Some guys might just look too female for me. So, but I've had interesting conversations with my friends about that, you know, like, could I be with a transgender? But like I said, there is one guy, trans guy, and you know, I could, because he looks really like a guy to me. Really. Obviously, he is a guy now, you know, totally a guy now, but I would never have had a clue that he was anything else. Whereas I guess sometimes you can get a sense that someone else who's transgender has been a previous gender. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm being honest here, you know, but I love and support all transgender people, you know, even though I'm not transgender myself. So, do you know what I mean? Hopefully I'm not saying anything offensive or bad or anything like that. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't want to be that type of person. I just want to speak my truth and be as kind and polite as possible. Do you know what I mean? So I think it's really important that when you are assessing if you want to be with someone in a relationship, that you do assess all these things, you know? Like, some people have got fetishes, for example. I don't like fetish stuff, you know? I don't really want to be with a guy who's into fetishes. Like, I've thought about that as well. So I think about myself in scenarios with lots of different type of guys that I'm not used to being with. You know, I've had guys, for example, there was an Indian guy interested in me who had a foot fetish. He was really specifically into feet. And I know quite a few Indian guys that spoke to me have said they've been into feet. And again, that kind of puts me off. It's something that I don't really get fetishes myself. I don't like the word fetishes myself. For me, I don't. You be true to who you are without, you know, it's important you to be true to who you are without worrying what everyone thinks all the time. And that goes for who you choose as a partner as well, based on your own thoughts, feelings, and that, you know. And I just don't like fetishes for personally me being involved with someone who likes that, because it's something that I just don't like the idea of. Do you know what I mean? It really kind of puts me off the person, you know. And it's like BDSM stuff. Personally, for me, I don't like that type of thing either. Do you know what I mean? I just don't like it. It doesn't feel good to me. It feels like I've thought about that. Oh, thanks for the thumbs up. Love you. I've thought about, you know, because I told you a while ago there was a foreign guy who wanted. Well, there's been more than one foreign guy in private message who said they're interested in getting a relationship, but they want a dominatrix person. I think my internet's playing up, so if I vanish, then my apologies. All right, okay, Sam. Yeah, You're still at it at the moment, but yeah, I know what happens. So yeah, I think, you just have to make sure that you're getting the right person for you. Like with BDSM stuff, that personally I can't be having that because it's not something I'm comfortable with or feel good about. Do you know what I mean? But like I said, there's been a couple of asexual guys who you know who who have been wanting a dominatrix, someone to dominate them. And in a relationship, right, in terms of like kissing, I'm usually the one that goes on top of the guy kissing. Well, I have been in the last scenarios, And Sam, I couldn't be comfortable with BDSM. Yeah, I'm really glad you said that, because me and you are the same on that, aren't we? We're really the same. It keeps stalling your video. Oh, bless you. I'm still here. But yeah, it's probably because I'm talking quite a while. Yeah, I'm glad you said you couldn't be comfortable with BDSM because there seems to be quite a lot of people in the asexual community that are. Do you know what I mean? And I have no problem if people want to do that for themselves or have other people involved. But when I'm thinking about choosing a life partner, it's not something I'd be comfortable getting involved with, And when I thought about being a dominatrix, it's like, could I actually do that? And I definitely am not the submissive type in terms of like, if others choose to do that, then it is entirely fine for them. Exactly, Sam. Exactly. But I just personally, from my point of view, with specifically with BDSM and dominatrix, I'd feel like even if the person wanted me to like hit them, spank them or whatever, I wouldn't want to do it. I don't want to hurt someone physically. It would be really bad for my mind to do that. I just couldn't do it. I'm like, I don't agree with hitting someone. Do you know what I mean? Like, why would you want me to hit you? Why would you want me to spank you? Why would you want me to hurt you? It doesn't make sense to me in my mind. And even if they did, I wouldn't do it because I have my own mind. And it's like, no, I don't go around hurting people. I don't go around hitting them or spanking them or, you know, chaining them up. I just like, I don't like, do you know what I mean? I don't like that type of idea personally. So I think it's, I think it's, important for people to be themselves. And I think it's important that when you are looking to get into a relationship, that you choose the type of person that really, hi, TikTok, hi, TikTok. I think it's really important that you choose the right person for you to be within a relationship because obviously a relationship is usually more intimate physically than a friendship. So you're going to be looking at different things in an actual relationship. If one of my friends is into BDSM, that doesn't really matter, does it? As long as they don't involve me, because it's not harming me, it's not causing me any psychological damage or anything. But do you know what I mean? But I mean, obviously, in a relationship, that would cause me psychological damage because I wouldn't be wanting to do that to someone. Do you know what I mean? I just couldn't do it to them anyway. You know what I mean? And being a dominatrix, I read up about it. And it's like they have a lot of like more than one master woman and stuff. And do you know what I mean? So it's just like it's not the type of thing that I want at all. So I think you've just got to pick who's right for you. But I just wanted, to say it's really important to be who you want to be. If you cross dress, that's absolutely fine. Whatever you're into, And it's important to be yourself in life. It's important to love yourself for who you are and to be around like-minded people. It's really, really important. Andy, yeah, if I'm owning up to everything, I should say I like some milder BDSM type activities. Nothing extreme. Sorry if that upsets anyone, but I'm being honest. Oh, thank you, Andy, for saying that. I'm really proud of you for saying that. Because Sam didn't know that about you, did they? So yeah. Yeah. If that is something you're into, Andy, then that is fine. Can always be honest. Yeah, exactly. But it's important to know. But yes, yeah. I've known Sam and I understand English. So, oh right, okay. Yeah. So, yeah. So that's Andy being. That's why. Yeah. I just don't want anyone to get the wrong idea. It's fine. I mean, obviously, I know what you like, Andy, because we've discussed that. But yeah. It's really not extreme pain or anything. Well, I won't say what it is because it's not my place to say on here, is it? But yeah, it's yeah, I couldn't be with anyone in a relationship who does any type of BDSM stuff, personally for me. But yeah, I'm really proud of you for saying that on this stream. You come out about two things tonight on here. Very, so English talk. Well, I am a fast talker, TikTok. I've always been a fast talker, and obviously I've got other people on the stream. This is me actually talking quite slow. Usually I talk really fast like this. This is how I usually talk, very, very fast. So I'm actually going more slower than I usually go, but I have got other people listening to me as well. So I don't want to sound like I thought it was important to say, yeah, Andy, it's very important to say. It's very important to say, because me and Sam wouldn't like that in a relationship. But as a friend, we always value you and appreciate you. We always care about you, always will. Being braver, you have been very brave, Andy. I'm glad you could say so. Yeah, you've been very, 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 very brave tonight. Wow. Yeah, yeah, it's really important. It's really important. You'll always have me and Sam as friends. You know that, always. It is really important to say because when I am men disturb you, but I am men disturb you, but I will quit. Thanks, my best friend. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah. I know you like milder BDSM stuff, but the stuff that you call milder, personally, because I'm not someone who is into BDSM, that would be too much for me personally. But as a friend, I'm fully here for you, always. Do you know what I mean? Always. And I'm always with you to listen to you, to hear, what you have to say. And I think people should always do what they want to do and enjoy what they want to enjoy. I think it's really, really important. And I'm glad you've been brave enough to come out. Oh, Sam, my God, I tried BDSM a very long time ago, about 3 times, nothing major. Wow, Sam, now you've shocked me. Yes, wow, I hadn't told anyone else that, and you just announced it on my live stream. Yeah, I didn't know that about you. I was the last one to find out. Ah, that was brave too, yeah. Hand on my heart, I've never tried any BDSM stuff in my life. Never, ever, ever, ever. It was when I lived in Scotland. I didn't know that about you, Sam. You have really shocked me. You've shocked me more than Andy because I knew about Andy, obviously. Andy's really kind. He does tell me everything, so it's really nice. Wow, 3 times, nothing major. Wow, wow, wow. Yeah, because I know you're dead against that, so that has shocked me. Wow, wow, wow. See, I'm smiling. I'm not like going away. I'm smiling. You know, that's really interesting. Very, very interesting. I want to know what it was now that you tried. But obviously, I can't ask you on air, so it's fine. But yes, it's very, very interesting. Very interesting. Yeah, that is very brave. Wow, getting all the bravery on my channel. But yeah, I didn't know that about you, Sam. But then I'm not going to know everything, am I? There's still lots I don't know about you. But yeah, hand on my heart, I've never tried any BDSM stuff. Thank God. I would have literally run a mile. I've never been tied up. I've never been spanked. I've never been hit, apart from obviously I've had abusive situations that I've had, that aren't BDSM, that actually abuse. And that's, not good. Um, but actually BDSM stuff I have never done, never been tied up, never been spanked, never been, I would literally not have that. I'd be running for the hills. Like having been in abusive relationships, there's no way I want someone hitting, spanking, touching, grabbing, or anything like that. He wanted to, and I used to try to do things aside from sex to try and keep a partner. Oh, bless you, Sam. Oh, oh, bless you. That's really, really brave of you to tell me that on here. Wow. He wanted to. I used to try to do things aside from sex to try and keep a partner. It's really hard, isn't it, when you're trying to do things to keep a partner? Do you know what I mean? It's very difficult. I mean, it's very difficult when you go back to like dating heterosexuals. It's very different. It's very difficult for me. Just like, like clubbing's not difficult. Kissing foreign heterosexual guys not as difficult as I thought it would be. Still a bit nerve wracking sometimes. This time was more nerve wracking than before because I was just aware the guy was quite physically strong. But it's kind of like if I was to go back and fully be in a relationship with a heterosexual, what would I want to do and what would I not want to do physical wise? Obviously, BDSM would be completely out of the question or anything like that. But do you know what I mean? It's kind of like you do start thinking that way. You start thinking, well, what would I do physically that I'd be happy or comfortable with that he'd want to do? Do you know what I mean? That's why really ideally it's better to get another asexual person. But lately I'm finding it like I'm a lot more compatible in terms of kissing with sexual, heterosexuals than I am with asexual guys, a lot more, which is very difficult, because then through your head go, hello, Aria, nice to see you. Then obviously, I think it's, it's an important topic to bring up, that when you are with a partner, it's like what do doing things to please them is not really good and keep the relationship. But then I understand where you come from in that. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of difficult when you're an asexual that's in a relationship with a sexual person. Do you know what I mean? Depends how sexual the person is as well. You know what I mean? Because like lately I've been like asking myself if I was to be with a heterosexual again, what would I do? What would I not do? I was searching mental health and filtering live and came across this live. Ha ha ha. Hope you're doing fine. Oh, you're searching mental health. Oh, that's good. I do actually talk a lot about mental health stuff on this channel. I used to be a teacher, well, a peer trainer for the recovery of mental ill health for the NHS in the UK. So I have lived experience of mental health problems. So I have lived experience of depression, which I overcame in 2012. And I also have anxiety, but no way like I used to have it. So I was years ago diagnosed with generalized anxiety disorder level 4. But yeah, I've improved my life loads by then. You might like my fibromyalgia self-help handbook, by the way. I mean, I'm the author of this book because this is an asexual channel for those who don't experience sexual attraction. So this is like one of my books. But I've also got another book called Fibromyalgia Self-Help Handbook, which is this one. But this one's very good. Even if you haven't got fibromyalgia, this is a not for sale copy. This is my own copy, author copy. But this is a really good book. The link's down below my channel. This is a lot to do with mental health. So although it's called Fibromyalgia Self-Help Handbook, because I have fibromyalgia, but you wouldn't know it. It's all about having less pain in your having less pain in your life, more energy, and feeling happier. And it talks a lot about mental health, specifically depression, anxiety, because depression, anxiety is linked to fibro. Andy's got the book, and so Sam, by the way. So yeah, so it might benefit you to read that because it does do a lot of mindset and mental health stuff in the book, and really can help you a lot. So yeah, but I do talk a lot. The book is fantastic and gives some great advice. Yeah, it really helps. The reason why I talk about it a lot is because it does help with mental health. Because it's like what I've learned in the last 8 years of personal and professional development, how to improve your mindset and make your mind better. So it's really important. But yeah, thanks Aria for coming on here. I really appreciate it. It's nice of you to stop by. But yeah, so I think I've talked quite a lot tonight, and I've had some really interesting revelations in the live chat. It's been amazing, and I want to say thanks to Andy and Sam for both coming out with different information in their life. It's been a very, very interesting conversation. Oh yeah, Sam, you're non-binary. Have you cross-dressed before? Do you know what I mean? Because as you're non-binary, I would have thought that you might have tried cross-dressing, or is that something you don't want to answer on the live stream? Yeah, you've tried cross-dressing. Yeah, I thought you had. I'm not sure if you told me actually in private. But it's something, yeah, if you're non-binary, or if you're a trans, obviously you would do that. But if you're non-binary, then I would expect that you would sometimes cross-dress. I would have thought that would be quite natural for some non-binary people to do that, because you don't really, you're not really one gender or the other, are you? Which means you can wear what you like, really, male clothes, female clothes, or whatever. I have a trans guy friend, and they used to always dress in guys' clothes from a young age, and their family didn't accept them doing that, But I think it's really important that parents, should accept a child at a very early age, dressing how they want to dress, I had some female clothes until I put tons of weight on. I want more feminine clothes. Oh, right. I didn't realise that, Sam. I want more feminine clothes. That's really good. That's really good. I had some female clothes until I put tons of weight on. I want more feminine clothes. That's really good. I think I'll end up looking like a guy more than anyone. Sorry. But no, I do look like a female, but I do like having male traits. I find it quite ironic that my best friends, well, it's good, isn't it? My best friends have got feminine traits and I've got masculine traits. Do you have any tips against anxiety? Yes, in this book, which is what I was trying to tell you. There's a whole section on anxiety. Which Sam has got and Andy's got, because Andy and Sam and me all have anxiety, but I've improved loads. So in this book, where is it? This book goes into every aspect of your life. Yeah, my bad, I had to leave for a second. Yeah, this book is really, really good. It's got a whole section on, it's got a whole chapters on anxiety. Where are we? So, it's a really good book. You should, honestly, it will help you loads. Your life will change because of this. I mean, it has changed Andy's life, I know that, and Sam's. Andy's anxiety is really, really, really lowered because of it. So Andy and Sam are the two people that are my best friends that are in the chat at the moment. So how to stop feeling bad and start feeling good. So there's a whole thing on there, chapter to do with depression, how to overcome depression. And then because people who have fibromyalgia usually have depression and anxiety as well. You'll just love the book, honestly. It will change your life. Chapter 9 is how to increase your confidence, and chapter 8, how to increase your confidence, but chapter 9 is how to decrease your anxiety and worry less. It's a really good chapter. Yeah, when Sandra writes a book, it will change lives, guaranteed. Thank you, Andy. Thank you. You can see the reviews on it's on amazon.co.uk. The reviews are left. Thank you, Sam. Agreed, Andy. Yeah. So it's really important because it changes your mind, the power of conscious thought, and yeah, it's very, very good. It's how to manage your mind, overcoming fears, and applying your antidotes. I have a Sandra Bellamy shelf. Yeah, Sam has a Sandra Bellamy shelf in their Kindle library. So whenever I get a book, they buy it and put it in their library and gain more insight. So yeah, it's really important, all about mindset and attitudes, and it does, this book will really help you if you've got anxiety. It's the best book I can recommend because it goes through everything, absolutely everything, really, how I manage my mind and life, really. So I see the link in the description. I'm correct. Yes, Aria, you're correct. Yeah, there's this one, the link to this one first, which is for asexuals, and then this one's underneath it. Yeah, and it says about depression and anxiety. Yeah, thanks for taking the time to explain. Yeah, I mean, Andy and Sam's got the book, so I know it's changed both their lives. And Andy's been on a plane for the first time since he read this book in years. So and done a lot of other braver things, like tonight. Andy just came out as the fact he cross-dresses tonight in this chat, which he would not usually have done in the past at all, ever said about being a cross-dresser in front of everyone. So, you know, he's overcome a lot of anxiety, and Sam has as well. Both of them have. Andy's like, you know, even proved like probably triple, quadruple, 10 times since he got this book. And he quotes the stuff in the book to me. It's really funny. Sometimes he'll be messaging me, and he'll be quoting my own words back to me from the book. It's quite funny. He goes, I remember someone told me this, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yes, in my book. So yeah, you should definitely get it. It's really, really good. And it will change your life. You know, come back and tell me how it was, because it's like a book that no other, because I've done lots of self-development work, personal professional development work. And you know, like I used to, like I said, used to have generalized anxiety disorder level 4. I mean, I couldn't have been on this channel years ago talking about all this type of stuff. Do you know what I mean? I would have been too anxious. I couldn't even be in a group years ago. I could only talk to one person at a time, and I hold asexual meetups now, and Sam and Andy and other people come to them. So do you know what I mean? I've done a lot in my life to really decrease my own anxiety, and I overcame depression in 2012. So it's a really, yeah, definitely get it. You won't be disappointed. It's a really, really good read, and it's done in really easy to read chapters as well, and some of them overlap. So it's like a complete interweaving guide. Yeah, I understand completely. Ha ha ha. That's nice to hear. Thanks. Yeah. Because the chapters are interweaving, so that, you know, they overlap. There's, you know, like increasing confidence goes with worrying less and decreasing your anxiety. So they kind of overlap into each other. And it's autobiographical as well. So you read my personal story. Does it also have things on depersonalization, derealization? Don't think so. Don't think so. I mean, I haven't used those specific words, but it does talk about the power of your mind to use it to create your reality. So I'm not entirely sure what depersonalization, derealization is. It's where you disassociate from realism. Is that correct? But we create our own reality in actual fact. So I haven't got anything specific on depersonalization, derealization, but you might. Out of body experience, no. It doesn't have anything about out of body experiences. No. I personally think I've been reincarnated, but that isn't in the book. But it doesn't have anything about out of body experiences. No. It has about creating your own reality, though, because we create our own reality, which most people don't know unless they're living a very conscious life. So I live a very conscious life. Most people are living a very unconscious life, where they're just like working on autopilot, and they're just going about their day-to-day routine a bit in a robotic fashion. Yeah, Sam believes in reincarnation too. Yeah. So in this book, it talks about being your own superhero in life and saving yourself from pain. But that is not just physical, it's mental pain, because what we manifest in our mind, we create in our body. So if we got pain in our mind, we will get pain in our body. And so a lot of it's to do with mind-body correlation as well, you know, as well as techniques for helping, you know, deal with anxiety and worry less and things like that. You know, it's all to do with the mind and the body speaks volumes, and you can create your reality. You can change your life by changing your reality using the power of your mind. This is very, very interesting. I always like talking about this type of stuff, you know. And yeah, so there's nothing talking about out of body experience. Do you think you are really conscious because of the things you had? Anxiety, for example, the things you've been through obviously makes you in a way. Well, I personally think I was a very conscious person from when I was a child, because I would constantly talk to myself and be in my own head a lot, because I was very different to other kids. And so I've always been able to consciously be aware of myself. Like when I remember being on my potty. I mean, obviously, to be on a potty, I must have been like less than 2 years old. And my mum saw me on the potty, and I woke up, like awakened to myself, and thought I don't want my mum to see me naked on the potty, which people don't usually think. Do you know what I mean? I think anxiety does make you think and see things that other people can't see. I think anxiety can give you like superpowers as well as hurting you. So you've got to really know how to use anxiety for its best. Like anxiety can make you a really good writer, because I love writing. It can make you very, very good at writing, especially dramatic stuff, love stories, death stuff, all that type of thing. And anxiety can protect you and stuff like that. But I am a bit like able to see things, like psychic type of intuition stuff sometimes, which is not always a good thing to be able to do. This is me personally. Um, so yeah, and so I think I've always been consciously aware since I've been a child. I woke up to myself, I think, at a very early age. I can remember like being on the potty. I mean, who not many people can remember being on a potty and not being aware that your mum was in the room and that you didn't want her to see you naked. It was wrong. But obviously I hadn't thought of that before. But it was just like, you know what I mean? I'd always been very adult for my age when I was a kid. And now I'm older in birth certificate age. I've got a 21st mindset that I have, and I live like a teenager. So I've gone backwards on purpose. So I live a very young life now, very, very, very young life, teenager style life, which I do enjoy. So I've completely changed my life around. But I've been through a lot of stuff in my past, a lot of stuff, things that some people wouldn't believe. I've kept myself alive, and I've done well at doing that. And anxiety can keep you alive in situations. I've had accidents where anxiety saved me, because I'm able to think quickly, quicker than some other people, and I'm able to think in my head. So, for example, I fell down 11 stone steps head first, and I was able to consciously think about me falling down these steps and the fact that I had to relax my body as much as possible because it would hurt more while the event was happening. And although that's not an out of body experience, as in the sense of I'm not coming out of my body, it's kind of like really weird, kind of like it's like slow motion. It's like you're thinking about something when something fast is happening. So it's almost like you slowed it down in your mind. It's really weird. And I do believe I have some abilities that are not normal sometimes. I do believe I have some actual superpowers, but this is all about being your own superhero and saving yourself from pain. So I'm known as Ace Fiber Girl now. Got my own superhero outfit and everything. So yeah, I do think that I am conscious because of the things I've had in my life. I think I was conscious from a very early age, which is why I think I've been reincarnated before, because I think I was too adult for my age. It's not normal to be that adult when you're a kid. Not normal. You know what I mean? It just doesn't. The average person wouldn't be like that. The average person wouldn't think like I thought from a very early age. I think anxiety, I think mental health, some people with mental health problems, actually, they are more consciously aware than a lot of people. And I think that's what causes them a mental health problem sometimes. I'm not saying this is every case. I know different people. That's really deep. Thank you, Aria. Yeah, I do get quite deep. I do go off on tangents on this channel, which is why sometimes I end up live streaming for a very long time. Yeah, and I got into personal and professional development in 2012. So I've been learning a lot of stuff to do with mindset, to do with being able to predict your own, basically create your own future, to do with, like the power of the mind specifically, to do with manifestation, things like that. So, yeah. So I do believe, I've always believed since being very, very, yes, I like having a grip on it, you mean? Yes, like having a grip on it. I'm not quite sure what I said there. I talk and I forget what I say sometimes. Like you can create your own reality, so you can think about things in your mind and then you take action to get what you want in life. Do you know what I mean? But I can actually think things and they happen, which can also be a bad thing because I don't want to see things that happen. Like in my past, I used to be able to see things that I didn't want to see. Things happen before they happen. And so I tried to stop seeing them. But it's really weird because I recently had something that I just came into my head that actually has happened recently that I didn't expect to happen. Oh, well, I didn't want to happen. I wanted it to be wrong. And it wasn't a very good thing. and I'm having to deal with that at the moment. It's personal stuff, so I can't say what that is, but not personal about me, personal about someone else. But yeah, something came in my mind intuitively, and it ended up being correct and pretty much exactly what I thought in my head. So yeah, so sometimes I can do stuff like that. My mum's actually very psychic, I have to say. Very, very psychic. So I might get some of that from her. So yeah, I'm really conscious because of a lot of things, because of I just think I am from a young age. I think anxiety can make you conscious. I think mental health problems can make you very conscious. And I can intuitively, if I listen to my intuition, it's never wrong. If I trust my intuition, it's always right. Usually always right. But sometimes, you don't want your intuition to be right if it's something that's not about something that's not good. You don't want it to be right, but it always usually is. And, the only way you can stop it, being right is by telling someone about it if it's something bad. So if I can think something in my head and it's like a prediction that's not going to be good, if I can tell a person about it, usually can stop it happening. That's the only way I can stop bad things happening, usually, is if I tell the person it involves, which is not very nice sometimes, you don't want to say what it is because you don't want to upset them. But sometimes if you don't say it, what's the consequence? So it's kind of you have to interfere with what might happen to stop it happening. I just, it's quite deep stuff. It's quite deep stuff that people wouldn't necessarily understand, or doesn't always make sense to me, but I just know I am the way I am, So it's just like, yeah. I mean, this book, people who don't read it don't understand, know what it's good. But I mean, it's like, in a nutshell, you will discover the secret formula for long-lasting mental health and happiness, and how to be your own superhero to save yourself from pain. That's in a nutshell what the book's about. So it's a very, very mental health, getting your mind sorted in this book. Yeah. But yeah, I try not to have any out of body experiences. I've had something happen a long time ago which wasn't good. Well, you are a wonderful person, great friend, the way you are. Thank you, Sam. I really, really appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, I really appreciate that. Yeah, I really appreciate that, because I've been getting, like in the last 24 hours, it's been quite a difficult time for me, really. Which I'm just going to get a bit upset now if I'm not careful. So it's been very, very emotional time these last 24 hours for me, really, because something that I intuitively came up with by accident actually happened. Well, not fully happened, but it did, because I predicted something the person was thinking, and they were thinking that. So I thought what they were thinking, and it happened to be this pretty much identical to what they were thinking. And so that's kind of scary. Do you know what I mean? It's a really scary thing to be able to do that. I don't like it when I do that. But, when you're intuitive, you can't really stop it, whether it's good or bad. And you have to try and focus on good stuff all the time. You have to try and predict good stuff. And, you have to try and, the trouble is, even if you try and stay away from stuff that's not so good in the mind, sometimes it can just pop in there, especially if it's about someone else. Do you know what I mean? It's like, where did that come from? And so thank you for saying I'm a wonderful person, great friend, the way I am. Yeah. Because I'm certainly not normal. I know that. I've known that for a very long time. I used to feel like an alien in this world. I used to feel like I didn't belong, and I was just like an alien visiting or something, and I wasn't really meant to be here. But I feel really comfortable with you, Sam. I feel like I really known you and know you, and really comfortable with you. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I just feel so comfortable with you and with Andy, and having asexual friends has just been really revolutionary, amazing for me. You and Andy, your uniqueness is your strength. Thank you, Andy. Thank you. It's really, really important I've got you two as friends. I feel a lot more happier in myself that I've got, knowing that I feel like quite stable friends now, whereas I didn't have that in the past. I did used to feel like I was an alien. I used to remember on and on. It used to feel so weird. I used to feel like I wasn't really here. I was just, I don't know. just stuck here or something. I wasn't, same here. I was telling my new friend about our close friendship, the three of us. Yeah. Yeah, it's a very unusual close friendship, isn't it? The three of us. It's really good. Really good. Oh, you agree that my uniqueness is my strength. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Andy. Yeah. Yeah. It's really good. I feel a lot more settled now. I've got you two as my best friends. It's a really, really important. Yeah, we're all close friends together, three of us, which is really, really good. I think it's really, really good. I haven't really had that before in the past. And I just feel like I fit in more now. I think I'm still unique because I just think, like, with asexuality, I don't really totally fit into a box with asexuality. It's like I've got such, like, kissing needs that are very, very physical and sexual in behavior. I don't experience any sexual attraction, and I find that very difficult personally to deal with. You have really and truly helped me to gain in confidence so much and embrace who I am. Oh, thank you, Sam. That's really, really nice. I'm really glad. I'm really glad. I can see a dramatic change in you from when I first met you in a positive way. So that's really good. Thank you so much. Thank you. It's really, really nice. Really nice. Oh, I feel so humbled. It was really positive. Thank you. Thank you so much. Like Andy says, and you say, my uniqueness is my strength. I think it actually is, even though it's not always an easy path. I think it is because I just feel like I'm a mixture of different things sometimes. I'm definitely unique, but I think I'm a mixture, like being asexual and having zero sexual attraction. Sam, that's good to hear, man. Always embrace yourself. At the end of the day, we're all humans, yeah. Apart from some asexuals don't feel like they're humans. I have to say that. Some asexuals don't feel like they're humans at all. But I kind of get that. Oh, Andy, you gave me a life I would never have had. I will always be so grateful for that. Thank you. I just want to blow kisses to Andy and Sam because they are my best friends. I love them dearly as my friend. And I'm so happy that I've changed your life in a positive way. I really am. Do you know what I mean? I know my books have helped you a lot as well, and friendship. It's really, really good. Thank you. I'm smiling so much now. I really appreciate that. Really, really kind words. Thank you so much. I just want to keep saying thank you now because, I didn't used to have any people saying this type of thing to me for years and years of my life. So it's like when you say all this, I just feel so happy. You know what I mean? I'm like, wow, this is incredible. Do you know what I mean? Because I didn't have people saying this to me growing up. You know what I mean? So happy to have the two of you as my friends. Yeah, I'm so happy I got both of you as my friends as well. It's really important. It's very, very, very important, So we keep in touch with each other and we're really close friends, even though we don't live near each other. I mean, obviously, Andy, you live nearer, but same here, Andy. Yeah, it's just really, really good that we're all friends together. Really, really good. It's like a really strong bond, and I really love that, I think it helps I got some male traits, I have to say that. And that Sam and Andy got female traits. I think it works quite well, really. It all is quite equal in that way, I think. Here, yeah. I think it's really good. I'm really proud of both of you, of everything you've achieved in your life and how you've changed your life. I really am. Because I know you two are a lot more confident now. I do know that I see that dramatic change in you. It's really good. You'll go to places on your own now. You'll go to meet people you've never met before in your life. You don't really worry about it that much. Or if you do worry about it, it's controlled worry. Do you know what I mean? Like, you still go and do it anyway. So I'm just so proud of you. I think it's really, really good. Really, really good. Really, really good. And Andy's flown on a plane after years when he didn't do it before. And I'm still not doing that at the moment. I don't like flying on a plane. I used to cry when I've flown on a plane. But who knows? One day it might happen. If I get a nice young foreign guy to be my boyfriend and he's like, come on a plane with me, maybe he can persuade me. Because I enjoy his company so much, I'll just say, kiss me throughout the whole flight. That'll do. And then I won't worry about the flying. I'll just I'm in the back kissing him. I think that's quite a good idea. Overcome your fear with kissing. I'll be so high on kissing, I'll forget about the flight. That's a good plan, isn't it? I have to do that in the future. If you don't know, if you're new to this channel, I'm really into young foreign guys. I just have a particular attraction to younger foreign guys, particularly Indian. My soulmate's Indian somewhere. Somewhere my romantic soulmate's Indian. I don't know where he is, but he will turn up. But yeah, so that's a good plan for a play. Yes, I'm like, oh boy. But yeah, I do feel like quite weird as an asexual person. I don't feel I quite fit into any totally one specific asexual box. Obviously heteromantic I definitely do, but do you know what I mean? I do, but I think I'm made up of little different bits so that I can help different types of people. That's what I think. That's what I figure. Because I've got the really romantic, passionate, erogenous side to me, and I've got the really sex repulsed, nudity repulsed. I don't want to see a guy naked from the waist down or naked women side of me, which are very contradictory sometimes. I'm like, how the heck do they go together? They just do. And then it's obviously like I've got male traits, even though I'm clearly want to be female and like looking like a female. So I've kind of got those are kind of opposites. I'm like a young girl, teenager, kid, and then I'm like a business guy. Do you know what I mean? I'm just completely like juxtaposition of myself sometimes. I'm same with nudity. Yeah, Sam. I do love that about you, Sam, because I just couldn't have anyone to relate to. You know what I mean? Like I couldn't have anyone to relate to over that. Was no one that I met. I met one guy. He said he was asexual on an asexual dating site, but he was after my friend after me. He was after quite a lot of women. I'm not sure that he ended up being asexual in the end because my friend at the time was saying stuff about him that didn't sound very good. So I don't actually know if he's asexual or not, or if he's making it up about nudity, but he was the only guy. I don't know if I think there might have been one guy that came on this channel that said he was nudity repulsed as well, that lived in the UK. I think he was 19. I think he might have come on there, but you're the only person I've ever met in offline real life experiences, the same as me with that. Do you know what I mean? But I used to be naked with my exes. I used to be completely naked. And so like when I'm dating heterosexual guys, I'm thinking like, you know, like when I'm kissing them, whatever, and if I'm thinking about having a relationship with a heterosexual guy, I'm like, well, what do I really want to do and what do I not want to do with a heterosexual? But it's like I've got to really think, what do I want to do with someone full stop, haven't I? Do you know what I mean? I don't like nudity. I don't, but I mean I don't mind, you know, I don't mind some touching below if I've been in a serious committed relationship for a very long time. I like doing that with my clothes on as well. And I don't mind a guy's chest being naked. But I don't like him touching my breasts. I've got a thing about that. I don't like that. But I didn't used to mind sometimes in the past that. So I don't know. I think, you know, I think asexuality is a journey of discovery and you've just got to keep discovering. But I think it's very difficult when you're part of you're not a stereotypical asexual for your category. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, like the passionate kissing. So far, I've only been able to get that with heterosexual guys. Do you know what I mean? And I really need that. I really love the passionate kissing. I really love the romance and the cuddling, the really lot of physicality in that way. And so far, I haven't met an asexual guy that's been compatible for me in that way. I just haven't. But, you know, there's loads of asexual guys in the world that I'm sure haven't even come out as asexual, found out they're asexual, you know? And I'm sure there are some people that really want to be with a crossdresser. And so I'm sure that when more crossdressers come out, then they'll probably find the relationship of their dreams because they'll meet other crossdressers or someone that wants to be with a crossdresser. I mean, some people might have a fetish that they want to be with a crossdresser, even though they don't crossdress themselves. But a crossdressing might be their fetish, and you know, and a crossdresser might enjoy that, but a crossdresser might not like that because I might think I don't want to be someone's fetish. You know what I mean? I want to be myself without being part of a fetish, but other people might like that. So, you know what I mean? I think you've really got to just decide for yourself what you want and, you know, and live your own life journey. Do you know what I mean? You know, I just think sometimes, like, because obviously I've been in heterosexual relationships for half my life, so I have got the very sexual experience side of me, which a lot of asexuals don't have. And so, you know, that's how I can help the asexuals that are interested in having sex. That's how I can help them. If I hadn't had all that experience, I wouldn't be able to help them. You know, the Asexual Guide to Sex book I'm working on, I wouldn't be able to do that so well because I have a deep understanding of sex and sexual behavior and sexual relationship. Do you know what I mean? If I hadn't had that experience, I wouldn't be able to write that book. I wouldn't be able to understand sexuals at all. So it's a good job I've had all that experience. So because I understand asexual. Well, I'm so glad I've got asexual friends because I am asexual, and it's really, really, really important I've got that now. You know, that I've got some stability of and sense of who I am fully. You know, but I've still got this very kind of like sensual, kissing, erogenous side to me that's not to do with intercourse. Do you know what I mean? It's a very passionate side to me, a very naughty girl in a totally innocent way side to me. Do you know what I mean? With the way I like to kiss and the way I like to kind of like flirt with a guy if I was in a relationship, where I kind of like being naughty but not in a sexual intercourse way with him. I can't, you know what I mean? Like the way I, you know, like I might even say something to him, but I don't want intercourse with him. It's very, I don't know, it's a very, very unusual thing, I think. Do you know what I mean? I always feel like I'm a bit of a mixture sometimes of different things. And sometimes, like I said, parts of my personality kind of like a completely, I am very black and white person in life. And I think sometimes my personality's got this black and white side to it. It's like, this is the guy business side to you. This is the quirky teenager kid side to you, right? You've kind of got both of them. You've got the completely, I hate nudity, can't stand it, it's disgusting side of you. Yet you've got this really passionate, kissing, erogenous side to you with, you know, like I like kissing this. Oh my god, sorry. This is my part. This is to do with my asexual guide to sex book, which just decided to fall down on my head. Which is very interesting, isn't it? You know, I was only just talking about that. I can't show you this because it's confidential, because it's got people's names on there I'm not allowed to reveal. But it's very, very, and I had paper over the top so you couldn't see it anyway. It's very, very interesting, isn't it? That it decided to all fall down on me. Right, so yeah. But I feel like I'm kind of a bit of a mixture, and I think, you know, like with this video being like cross-dressing, that you don't fit into necessarily a gender specific box, or that you want to like, you know, show two sides to your gender or show two sides to your personality. I think that's like with other things can be in your life as well, you know. I certainly have the very like innocent, sweet girl side to me. I have the more passionate, intense, kissing teenager relationship. But to me, they go together. But do you know what I mean? It's very difficult when you're in that position, when a lot of asexuals wouldn't feel comfortable with the passionate kissing and lots of it. But heterosexuals would usually want to have the nudity and the sex. I mean, I was on Plenty of Fish briefly, and I said to this guy about like, I was interested in that I didn't like sex, and he said, oh, okay, I could accept that so long as you could have oral sex with me. And I just can't do that. I'm just like, no, I can't do that, sorry. And that was the end of the conversation. Do you know what I mean? So I just I just don't want to do that type of thing, you know. I just don't feel like doing it, you know. But it's kind of like weird, because obviously I used to do that type of thing in the past, but it's kind of like now I know I don't have to. But I think when you're considering dating heterosexuals again, you're kind of thinking, well, what could you do and what could you not do? You know what I mean? You're kind of trying to stretch yourself a bit more, I think, because obviously you know they're sexual even though you're not. So I think it's something that you have to like just really consider. I mean, I hope I get a passionate guy that doesn't need sex, really, that's happy with just all the kissing. I mean, you know, because I do lots of different types of kissing, like kissing in the neck, kissing the ears, kissing down the chest, kissing down the arms, kissing the hands, you know, like stroking the chest, all that type of thing. So there's a lot of sensual erogenous stuff you can do with erogenous things that you don't have to lead on to sex. Obviously, a lot of sexuals want it to. So, you know what I mean? You can be very passionate without actually having the intercourse. So I, you know, but I feel I'm kind of like that, passion without the intercourse, passion without the sex. But yeah, I think, you know, asexuality is a journey. I think life is a journey of discovery. And I think if you do change in some ways or discover things about yourself, that you shouldn't beat yourself up about it. You shouldn't think you can't be that. You should just be comfortable with what you are. You know, I keep testing myself sometimes when I'm here heterosexual. I'm thinking, do I experience sexual attraction at all? But it always comes back with the answer, no, not at all. actually comes back with the answer more these days that definitely not. It comes back with the fact that I'm not even aroused like I used to be. I'm like, what's going on with that? But then it might just be, like I said, that I'm not letting them touch me in high arousal places for me. So, do you know what I mean? Sometimes I test, because obviously some people could end up being demisexual, you know, who are asexual. They could find the one person that they do get sexually turned on by and sexually attracted to. Obviously, sexually turned on is not the same as sexual attraction. Sexual attraction is when you're attracted to a person and you have the need, urge, or want for partner sexual intercourse with them. Sexual arousal is when they're touching your genitalia or something like that and sexually arousing you. Do you know what I mean? They're physically making you do that, or maybe something they're saying might even sexually arouse you. Do you know what I mean? So they are two different things. But you know what I mean? Like I said, asexuality is a journey of discovery. Life's a journey of discovery. And I think if you do somehow change or develop or grow or find something else out about yourself, I think you should just accept it and, learn to love yourself, who you are. I mean, I get sometimes go through my mind, like, what if I ever ended up finding out that I wasn't, that I mean, I can't ever imagine it happening, but what if I found out ever in the future I was demisexual, but I'm definitely not. I keep testing myself on that. Do you know what I mean? I keep testing myself, like, do you experience any sexual attraction? I'm like, no, I really don't. Like, sometimes I'm noticing more lately, the more I'm with heterosexual guys, actually, the more asexual I feel. Like, the more I'm like, I don't get aroused by this. It does nothing for me. I'm just not sexually attracted to you. I'm just don't, because I'm consciously aware of it, and I wasn't consciously aware of it when I used to be with heterosexuals in the past. I had absolutely no idea whatsoever I was asexual, and so I've never had, in the very, very past, when I was dating younger foreign guys and snogging them, I never had in my mind that, that I'm asexual. But I mean, the last Bangladesh guy I kissed before this year, that was in 2014, the year I found out I was asexual. And I told him that I didn't want sex. And he was the one that said, oh, no problem. I can have you as my girlfriend, sleep with other, have sex with other girls. And I'm like, no, that's totally unacceptable. And that will always be unacceptable to me. I will never be in a relationship. Even if I was in a relationship with a heterosexual guy, it's not on for him to go and get his sex elsewhere. If he wants sex, then he needs to be with a sexual person, I would have to really trust a heterosexual guy that he didn't want to go and do that with someone else. And that would be very, very difficult, because most of them, honestly, they do. They need sex in a relationship like we don't need sex in a relationship. So, it's very difficult to ever find a heterosexual that doesn't want the sex. But there might be, you never know, there might be someone who really is so into kissing. Unacceptable to you too. Yeah, Sam. I really think, oh, I'm running out of water now. I really think it's important to decide what you will accept and won't accept in a relationship. And that is something I would never, ever, ever accept. If a guy wants to do that, don't be with me. That's what I say, just don't be with me, because it's not acceptable. I deserve as much faithfulness as a heterosexual does. My sexual orientation of asexuality is just as valid as their heterosexuality. Do you know what I mean? My not wanting sex is just as valid as them wanting sex. Me wanting a sexless relationship is just as valid as them wanting a sex-filled relationship. One of my brothers said I shouldn't want a relationship because I won't have sex. I mean, that's just ridiculous. Just because you're asexual, of course you should want to have a relationship if you are romantic and want a relationship. Do you know what I mean? It reminds me of what the counsellor said. You'll not find a good guy if you want sex. Like, if I have to have sex and I don't want it, then I won't be in a relationship with someone. I'd have to consciously choose to have sex again if I was going to do that. And I'd have to want to have that, or consciously, do you know what I mean? But to be honest, even if I tried it again, I just think I'd get bored with it and wouldn't want to do much of it. Do you know what I mean? Like, I just can't see me wanting to do that very often or very much at all. I don't like it as it is. But I have been thinking, all right, you're dating heterosexuals. Well, would you ever have sex again, Chandra? I question myself, all these things. I'm thinking, well, I don't like it. I don't really want it. I'd rather be with an asexual guy. And even if I did try it, I can't see me wanting to keep it up, because I'd just be bored. And I don't really want that as part of my life. Do you know what I mean? It'd just be like, maybe, as a one-off, like, but guys don't do one-offs. Do you know what I mean? And I don't like the idea of it. it's something I have not done for a very long time, since 2011. And I don't plan on doing it again. Do you know what I mean? I think it's a bit of a shame that the last guy I was with was my last long-term ex that I did that with, and he was good at that, you know. But I kind of feel that when I'm in these videos talking about the last time I had sex, it was with him, and he wasn't that great a guy, and I kind of keep referring to him because I've got nothing else to refer to, because he was the best in that type of category, and he was the last guy I was in a long-term relationship with, you know. And I just kind of think it's a bit sad it was him it was with, in the sense that, I mean, it's not sad in the sense I was in a long-term committed relationship with him, but it's kind of sad that I keep having to refer to him when I'm talking about stuff. It's like a shame there wasn't someone in between in that way. Do you know what I mean? But I don't like sex. I can't, you know, it hurts, and I can't see me doing that. You know, I'd have to consciously push myself to do that because I wanted to choose to do that. But it's like, I don't really want to do it. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's not very nice of your brother to say that, you know, because, you know, you can want love without sex. I mean, plenty of people have relationships that have got no sex in them. You know, there's people who are not just asexual, but have physical disabilities, or they're impotent, and that stops them from having sex, you know? And those people can still find love. Those people can still find a relationship. I do believe there's something for everyone, you know, and there's someone for everyone. I do really, really believe that, you know. I do really believe that, you know. I believe there's someone out there for everyone. And I think it's perfectly valid if you want a relationship without sex, you know. I've been looking for an asexual guy now for relationships since 2014. That's the only reason why I'm going out, you know, and like deciding to kiss sexual guys, because it's like, well, 5 years have gone by, nearly 6 coming up, and I still haven't found an asexual guy suitable for me. So I've clearly got to try something different. But then, you know, you go into the realm of thinking about being with a sexual again, it's just kind of like mind blowing. It's kind of like weird, and it's kind of like you then start questioning your head, well, what sexual things would you do or not do if you're with them? How far do you want to go? What do you want to let them touch? What do you not want to let them touch? Because sometimes, like, certain things they touch, I'm not bothered. But it bothers me that I'm not bothered. Do you know what I mean? I'm thinking, you should be bothered, Sandra. They shouldn't be touching those places. You should be bothered. Don't let yourself be touched in those places, because you should be bothered. But sometimes, like in certain parts of my bum, I don't really get that bothered. I don't even notice they're doing it half the time. If I don't notice they're doing it, obviously it doesn't really bother me, does it? There is certain bits, like if they go near my private part, then that I don't want them anywhere near that bit. Do you know what I mean? But if it was on like the further away bits, I don't really feel like I feel I've got a problem because I should have a problem, rather than I actually have got a problem with it. And then that bothers me. That really bugs me. I'm like, why don't you have more of a problem than that, Sandra? It's because I just don't really feel much when they do it. Don't even know they do it half the time. And it doesn't really bother me. But it bothers me that it doesn't bother me. So I'm saying, don't go near it. Do you know what I mean? It's a very bizarre situation to be in. So I mean, I think you just got to give yourself time to process what you will and won't stand for, what you do and don't like, and you know what you do and do not mind. I think. Do you know what I mean? I think it's difficult, isn't it? Especially if your mind and your body don't always correlate. But yeah, you know, it's perfectly valid to want a relationship, you know, whatever sexuality or sexual orientation you are. Do you know what I mean? Like, this video I was originally talking about cross-dressers, you know, and you know, it's perfectly valid for a cross-dresser to want to be in a relationship. You know, they deserve to be happy as much as anyone else does. And there'll be people that are highly attracted to that type of person, that love that type of person for who they are. Do you know what I mean? Even in a romantic relationship, not just a friendship. Obviously, me and Sam love Andy as our friend. So do you know what I mean? It's, you know, I don't think that's nice of your brother, you know, but it does remind me of the council when they're like, oh, well, you must have sex in order to keep a good guy. It's like, well, a guy wouldn't be good for me if they wanted me to have sex with them, and I don't want it. Do you know what I mean? So I think there's going to be the rare cases that you can get a sexual wanting to be with someone for their personality. But I think it's got to be you've got to be very strong, and you've got to really trust the person. I think a lot of sexuals aren't trustworthy where sex is concerned, because it's such a big deal to them. They're kind of like their life revolves around it. Do you know what I mean? So I think there might be a few sexuals that their life doesn't revolve around that, or they'd rather just be with the special person they're with than just have anybody's body to have sex with. Do you know what I mean? But I do, I think next year in 2020, I'm going to discover a lot more about myself, because I think I'm going to be kissing more sexual guys in the club. I think I'm going to be bringing my brand out, which is kind of a bit different to asexuality in the sense it's erogenicity, which I have mentioned on this channel before, but I don't want anyone to be alarmed next year that, oh, Sandra's not asexual. Well, I am still asexual just because I'm doing erogenous stuff. It's got nothing to do with my sexuality, or people thinking that I've gone completely sexual or anything like that, because you can be very erogenous without actually having sexual intercourse, without even touching private parts. There's a lot of other erogenous parts to the body. Obviously there's sexual parts is erogenous, but there's a lot of other parts of the body that got nothing to do with genitalia, that are very, very very, very erogenous, and they can sexually turn a person on or rouse a person, but yet just feel good in and of them own right, if you like that type of thing, without any intercourse or without any genitalia touching or being involved whatsoever. Because I do like that side. But obviously, if I'm going to be doing my erogenicity brand, which I am, there's going to be a lot of sexuals interested in that, because obviously they want it to do that as a prequel to sex. But, it's down to the individual whether they want to do that as a prequel to sex, or whether they just want to do that in and of its own right, so it can suit different sexualities, to be honest with you, different sexual orientations. But yeah, I'm going to be doing that next year. But it's going to be very interesting because I've got to do instructional videos without being like too revealing. 2020 will be great, as I am already opened up more about me, and next year I'm not just giving a poop anymore about anyone that won't accept who I am. Oh, thank you, Sam. I love that, and just not giving a poop anymore about anyone that won't accept who I am. And I see you at the start of this year. Yeah, start of the next year. Yes, you see me at the start of next year. Get the year off to a great start on the 4th of January. I can't wait. It's going to be super exciting. I'm very excited for next year, because I know I'm going to have new brands out, and I'm going to be a brand new me. And plus I'm changing already. I am kissing sexuals again. But you know what I mean? I'm actually kissing guys that I'm really high aesthetic attracted to, that young and foreign and my type of look. Do you know what I mean? It feels really good to be doing that again. It's a bit scary in some ways, but it does feel really good. It's yes, this is what, you deserve to be kissing guys you're really attracted to, Sand. You deserve it. I can't be with an older guy. I've tried to force myself to be interested in older guys, and I just never am and even if I'm remotely interested, it's nothing like, well, I'm not interested in kissing an older guy. I'm not interested in being in a relationship with an older guy. And do you know what I mean? It's even guys in their 30s, I do find it difficult as well, It's just that I don't get attracted to them romantically and aesthetically. I really need to be with a younger foreign guy. Do you know what I mean? It's what I feel most comfortable physically around over everything. I'm not really that attracted to British guys. I know I was with a British guy this year, but to be honest, I'm just going more and more off British guys again. It's not the look I want. You know what I mean? And when I'm around foreign guys, I just feel like I'm home. Obviously I feel like I'm at home when I'm with Sam and Andy. I feel like they're my home base, It's where I'm meant to be. Do you know what I mean? With me and Sam, when we're in the cinema together as well, it just feels like so cozy friendship wise and so natural. It's really, really good. Do you know what I mean? It's we've got a really good strong foundation of friendship there that will last a lifetime plus and beyond, to infinity and beyond. Woo woo woo. And yeah, and with Andy, it's we share loads of secrets and stuff. It's really great. We all share secrets, so it's just really good. It's really good to have that. And I think we're all going to go from strength to strength. Me, Sam, and Andy next year, the Ace team, woohoo! And yeah, and I think asexuality is going to be more widely known. I mean, I'm going to get my Asexual Guide to Sex book out next year. It's going to be published sometime next year. It's going to take longer than I wanted it to. It's going to be a few months yet before it gets published. But Ace team, it's lovely. Thank you, Andy. But when it comes out next year, it's going to be fantastic. It's going to, I think, change a lot of people's lives, and also it's going to help get asexuality at the forefront of sexual people's noses and minds and eyes, because they're just going to look at the title of the book and they're going to be like, I need the book. And I think it'll open sexuals' eyes up a lot more. I need to get it. I need to get asexuality recognised a lot more in the heteronormative world. You know, I know there's a lot of people that do a lot of activism within, you know, about asexuality. They do a lot to do with pride as well, but I really need to push it into the hands of heterosexuals. They need to understand that asexuality is a valid sexual orientation of its own right, and that they shouldn't assume that every person they come across and thinking about relationship with is heterosexual. You know, it's something that's very damaging, that still as a society asexuality isn't even barely heard of in generally. You know, it's something in society that really needs to be changed. You know, that really, I just, you know, like, you wish you had just had like one major advert you could do to the world and say asexuality is this. You know, before you get within a relationship with someone, please check what sexuality they are. It's like when you buy something from a supermarket, you want to check the labels, right? That they're edible, that what you're interested in, you like the ingredients. And it should be like that with sexuality. Everyone should be checking the ingredients of the person. Everyone should be checking what actual gender identity they go under, what sexual orientation specifically they are, not just assuming, because it's very damaging. You know, it's very damaging that heterosexuals just kind of think everyone else is heterosexual. Like when I was in that life, honestly, you know, the majority of the time, you know, I mean, I've been brought up that it's fine to be gay because I used to live near a gay couple when growing up, you know, and I knew about lesbians. But you know, still very much the heterosexual world is like, kind of heterosexuals seem to always assume that everyone is a heterosexual. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of like how they seem to think a lot of the time. Do you know what I mean? Unless someone's blatantly in front of their face being otherwise. So I kind of think that's a bit wrong. You know, I really wish, you know, specifically on dating sites, I wish there'd be more and more dating sites that do include. I really wish there'd be like a thing about asexuality on major dating sites. Like you're saying, yeah, some people on this site that are asexual that don't want sex. Do you know what I mean? Like a disclaimer type of thing would be good. You know, I know asexuality is becoming an option on some places, some major dating places, but you know what I mean? It's like, but people still don't know what that means. You know, people confuse asexual with being highly sexual. So I wish there was more like disclaimers about what it actually is, you know, or exclaimers, should I say, exclaiming what it actually means, you know, because I just think it's so damaging when people don't understand it. You know, there's a lot more potential for rapes, a lot more potential for sexual abuse. You know, a heterosexual might not even, obviously there's lots of heterosexuals that do sexual abuse. I'm not saying that they're all innocent, but there's some heterosexuals that might even not know that they're going to abuse. And that's why every person who's asexual should really be owning up to the fact they don't want sex if they don't, because then, you know, you're protecting yourself, and also you're giving the heterosexual or the whatever type of sexual, pansexual, bisexual, homosexual, the opportunity to not abuse you, because otherwise they don't kind of know otherwise, and they kind of like assume that you'll want what they want. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of like when I was in heterosexual relationships, I never thought about my partner's got to ask me this, that, and the other about doing sexual things. I kind of thought that in terms of having sex, it should be consensual. And I kind of thought that, you know, like, if I don't want to do it, I should say no, which I did. But when you're in a relationship, usually, if you're with a sexual person, you're having sex and doing sexual acts, it's kind of like just is a given that you do that. It's kind of expected and part of the relationship that you just get on and do that. It's not like you asking every 5 minutes, can I do this? Can I do that? Can I do the other? That wasn't what it was like for me in my past. Maybe it should have been more like that. You know, maybe that's where I went wrong, because I didn't really understand boundaries and stuff like that, you know? But I think it's majorly important when you get into any sort of relationship, you discuss all this up front. I think that's where asexuals can be at their strongest if they let themselves be. Because I think obviously some asexuals, they don't want to say they're asexual. They don't want to say they don't like sex. They don't want to say anything like that, which is not going to be very helpful in the long term for their own health. Do you know what I mean? It's like a relationship, because If you don't want sex and you don't like it, you know, it means just lying to your partner, putting them off from sex, you know, like pretending to be something you're not. And it can cause a lot of internal stress, really, because you're being untrue to yourself. Whereas at least if you give them the opportunity to walk away, you know that if they stay, they're with you for you, or maybe they're with you because they think you'll change your mind. But you know, they're if they think you'll change your mind, that's up. You know, that's them being not good to you. Do you see what I'm saying? And so it's not your fault if they think that, you know. And over time they'll discover that it's not true. And if they pressurize you, you can just like walk away and leave. But I know it's easier said than done, isn't it? That's why it's so important, I think, to discuss all the needs and up front. But I find it is difficult when you haven't been in a relationship for a very long time. Like, I haven't been with a heterosexual, for example, for a very long time, or in an actual, apart from I was with a guy this year and he wasn't asexual. And so, you know, but even then, when I was getting into the relationship a bit more, I didn't mind a bit more physicality. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know if I'm in a long-term commit relationship, if I'm going to change my mind and, you know, be okay with some touching in certain places that I'm not okay with being touched when I'm not in a relationship. So I think, you know, you just have to work some of it out. Or you go, what I find difficult is, what if you set a boundary and say, I don't like this, and all of a sudden in the relationship you decide, actually I'd like to try that. Then it kind of sends mixed messages to the person. It's kind of like, how do you state a boundary and then actually change that boundary if it's consciously you've decided, well, actually I do want to try this now. I think it has to be handled very delicately, that. So if you're putting boundaries in place, you know, you don't kind of want to change your boundaries and standards and seem like you're slipping, and that, because it, you know, it could seem like you're not valuing your worth. But what if you do want to try something more physical that you haven't wanted to do before because you just feel like you'd enjoy it or might like to try it? Do you know what I mean? I think you have to discuss that with your partner at the time, but obviously it is a big thing to try and change boundaries when you've already put one in place, and to come out unscathed, and to also still stick to all your other standards, boundaries, because they might say, well, you've changed that, you could change the other stuff. But, you know, I think life is a journey of discovery, relationships are a journey of discovery. No two relationships are the same, and sometimes the best thing to do is just get on and have that experience, but try and keep your wits about you, keep your heart intact and your mind, you know, and realize, specifically with dating, you're going to have to get through a lot of frogs until you get your prince. I think that's so true. Anyway, I'm going to love you and leave you for tonight. Thank you so much. Thank you, Sam and Andrew, my two biggest fans I know. I love you both as friends. You're amazing, amazing people. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you also to Aria, and also to Heather earlier. Thanks to everyone else. Good night, my best friends. Night to you as well, Andy. All best friends. It's great. Sam and Andy, best friends. And I'll see you on the next live stream. Don't forget, if you haven't already subscribed, hit the great subscribe button and hit the notification button so you get notified every time I go live like now or post a new video. And I'll see you on the next video or live stream. Good night, and good night, Andy. Good night, Sam. Good night, both of you. Lots of love, and I'll see you on the next live stream or video. Take care. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that big thumbs up. Thank you so much. Embrace your quirky and each other. See you soon. Bye. Night, everyone. Lots of love.